Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, the whole of Europe now lives in the shadow of the war in Ukraine. But that doesn't mean that good things are not happening. The Fratelli d'Italia Party Congress is a ray of hope, and your excellent results in the polls forecast a wind of change in European politics. European solidarity was put to the test by Putin's attack on Ukraine. Unfortunately, we have seen inconsistent reactions to the war of the European politics. These reactions range from a full mobilization of aid to Ukraine to almost total indifference in the face of its suffering. Thank you, Giorgia, for not hesitating to make a clear distinction between black and white. Moreover, Giorgia, you did not need a war, the suffering and death of Ukrainian civilians and soldiers, to be realistic about Russia's policy. The ECR was highly critical of Putin long before his aggression against Ukraine. This shows your insight which until recently was in scarce supply in Europe. Your party is called Brothers of Italy, but our good relations make me think of you as brothers and sisters of Europe, a Europe of homelands and a Europe of identity. A Europe of homelands, this is our common goal. Some politicians keep repeating more Europe, as if it were an incarnation which could solve all the problems of our continent. Meanwhile, the war in Ukraine shows us how indispensable nation-states are. The Ukrainians themselves demonstrated heroically fighting for every inch of their land. The war in Ukraine reminded us of another important issue, namely that Europe needs American security guarantees and NATO is our irreplaceable protective umbrella. In this changing world, NATO countries are more than just a defense alliance. They constitute an axis of common values around which this alliance revolves. Another lesson learned from the war in Ukraine is energy security. It becomes obvious that security in the field of energy or in any other will not be provided by a country that brutally and without reason attacks its neighbors. We cannot depend on a warlord and his whims. Our money cannot sponsor his dirty wars. I regret that I cannot be with you today because I'm convinced that this is where Italy's heart beats right now. Together we prove that a Europe of homelands has nothing to do with selfishness and that common goals and values are better and stronger guarantees of unity than institutions. Finally, I would like to wish you the best of luck in the upcoming parliamentary elections. Italy needs your success. Europe is counting on it.